75% of the traders in the East African region comprise of women, making them the most affected by the East African community, trade relations disintegration, and the COVID-19 lockdown, says Shayla Kawamala, the Executive Director of the Eastern African Sub-Regional Support Initiative.
As a measure to curb the spread of the global pandemic, COVID-19, in March 2020, the 6 East African Community Partner States closed their borders and literally killed the businesses of the small-scale traders who could not afford transporting their goods in trucks across the international borders. Its effect on the socio-economic lives and well-being of women is appalling, with a definite increase in the levels of poverty and inequalities. In an effort to put food on the table and sustain the lives of their children.
Jen Nalunga, the country director of CEATIN, says it is better for the East African community to remove all trade barriers for business people to fully participate.
The issue of reopening the borders, the EASSI borders. Today, all the East African countries are talking about post-COVID economic recovery. And in that debate, opening the borders should be one of the key actions. Because for a country like Uganda, regional trade is very, very critical. In fact, almost 60% of our trade is within the region. And when we talk about regional trade, we are talking about mainly cross-border trade, and we are talking about women. And I would also like to call upon our government, the 6 East African governments, also to address the challenges in the regional trade. You remember before the closure of the borders due to COVID, the Rwanda-Uganda border was already closed. And there are also so many NTBs, non-trade barriers. Remember before COVID, there were the trade wars, the milk wars, the eggs. We are asking also our governments to resolve those wars. Let us trade amicably within the region.
Kawamala stresses the need for the East African community to revise the trade policies.
We are therefore calling upon both the state and non-state actors, such as donors and civil society organizations, to develop and actualize inclusive markets, businesses and employment practices where women's voices and agency is amplified in economic decision-making. We also want well-designed long-term responses to support women farmers by enhancing equitable access to and control over productive resources, and have tailored training and capacity building for women to respond to the impact of COVID-19 recovery programs and build women's resilience.
Shinaz Namtawe for Smart 24 TV.